Welcome to Pixie's World. So this is going to be a very, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. I have a really bad sinus. You know, it's that time of the year. This is going to be a very personal post, and I'm just going to go the fuck off. I am so very tired. If you are poly, stop asking people who are not poly to date you. If you are entertaining other women where you're giving them attention, and basically, because when you're doing that, you're leading them on. If you're paying another female attention and that female you wouldn't introduce to your partner, then they are someone you shouldn't have around, period. That is not a friend. That is someone who is going to interfere with your relationship. Stop allowing your friends to interfere with your relationships. And I have news for you. The way you're treating your partner is why you're getting shit on in relationships. It's not normal for your friends to fucking interfere with your fucking relationship. It is not fucking funny for them to get on an anonymous app and fucking flirt with you and fucking go on and for you to respond to those questions. That is not fucking normal. You are abusing let me express this in the best way I can. It is emotionally abusive to your partner to allow it, to interact with it, to even, let it be. It is not normal for y'all to be playing a game and spending time together and for you to blow up because the game is fucking messing up on you. That is an abusive reaction. You are taking things out on your fucking partner and it's not okay. That is a red flag. That is narcissist behavior. And for you to turn around and then so-called block the friend, or not friend, your partner, because they have expressed that what's going on in an anonymous app where there's questions being asked, where they're being mentally abused by someone that is your friend, and you're allowing it, and for you to get upset at them, you're the one that's fucked up. Then to turn around and just for outright meanness, when you break up, to block their friends, when their friends have done nothing to you, and they are mentally challenged, you are abusing other people as well. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anytime that you break up and the other person isn't at fault, why are you blocking them? Apologize. End it in an adult way. Blocking someone, allowing your friends to abuse them, because this has happened now twice, two different guys, allowing your friends to interfere with your relationship and abuse them. Like any kind of talking to other females, period, or males, if it's, we'll just say partner. That way it's more clear. Anytime you have a partner and you're talking to someone of the opposite sex or anyone in general that could pose a threat, like if you are not going to introduce them and then you all hang out and get to know each other as a group, you shouldn't be talking to that person and you need to remove them. If you want that relationship to actually fucking work. If the people you are hanging out with that are supposedly your friends are doing things and going out of their way to hurt your partner and you're just letting it happen, you are mentally abusing your partner. Do you hear that? You are mentally abusing another human being. It is not fucking okay. And you need to understand, life is never fucking perfect. So there's always going to be something going on. And when your partner expresses that they're upset over something or something that you did hurt them, fucking listen to them instead of fucking jumping all over them and going, oh, don't start this. Can I have just, it's not your partner's fault that your day is not going in the way you want it to. Do you understand? And when your partner isn't being an asshole and they're just wanting to express something so they can talk about it and that you all can work on things like fucking adults because they love you and care about you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a relationship and they're not telling you when something bothers them or there's something going on, and then like you're blindsided because they break up with you, they did not love you. The fact that your partner is going out of their way to tell you that there's something wrong and they're trying to work through it, that right there is love. And instead of holding in what's going on around you and that you're fucking upset, how about you talk to your partner so they know what's going on instead of you just blowing up on them randomly for absolutely no reason when they've not done anything but try to spend time with you? That would make more fucking sense. If there's something going on when you're hanging out and that's triggered you or bothered you, how about you say so? How about when they ask you if you're okay, you just say, no, I'm just really stressed out with all this other stuff. But then you don't take out whatever's going on your fucking partner. And instead of blocking your partner, how about you talk about it? And I'm going to tell you right now, while I am not perfect, I am one of those people that will sit and listen to you and let you express yourself and talk things over and work through things rather than just fucking give up for absolutely no reason, because I am not this imaginary idea of what a relationship is. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're never going to find somebody that just lets you treat them like shit and never say anything to you about it. Stop hanging out with these little boys who will never, ever, ever have a relationship because they don't know how to treat somebody. Because they very clearly have interfered with your relationship and gone out of their way to mentally abuse your partner, and you have sat there and fucking allowed it. And then in the process of being a complete and utter jackass to me, to your partner, and this is for everyone that does this, just not just me. You have abused other people who are innocent that have nothing to do with anything just to abuse them. Then you wonder why your life is so shitty and you're so fucking depressed and you're having all these relationship problems. The problem is fucking you. It's not the other person. You are abusing and mistreating someone else. And the fact that you said that you wanted to marry me, the fact that you said that you fucking were in love with me and wanted to spend the rest of your life, and then you turn around and you did all this boo-boo. It's you that's the problem. You outright did something that was extremely abusive fucking to me publicly while you're fucking streaming. And then you turn around and then you give me a sorry, and then you don't spend time with me at all to try to make up for it and make sure that we're good. You hop into a fucking game and then blatantly allow your friends to send messages on a fucking app where I can see it. And let me express. Whether I can see it or not, interacting in that way and allowing it is abuse. That's mental abuse. There were discussions between both of us where you understood that my past relationships were abusive. The way they went on was unacceptable, and I wasn't going to be okay with it. Then you have allowed it for a good period of time to the point that the day that I said something this last time, that it was overly blatant and obvious, and yet you've sat here and done nothing. And then you had the guts to say, I can't handle this and break up with me? Oh, you are in for a rude awakening, sweetie. You're never going to have a relationship because of the people you are hanging out with. You're not going to be happy because you're allowing your friends to abuse your fucking partners. You are hanging out with people who obviously are not your friends, because friends don't do that to each other. I think, and I'm just going to say this, not because I love my friends and I love the people around me, but my friends and my community have all came around to greet you, to welcome you in. You have met people. They have absolutely treated you like you're one of us and you've been here for fucking years. And while my female friends have been too busy with either work or their relationships to actually introduce themselves to you yet, they've interacted with you on social media and made sure that you knew that they were there. They've supported you. They work to get you fucking affiliate, and then you turn around and ban everybody from your stream. And look, just because we broke up, that doesn't mean that they're gonna not like you anymore and do things to you. My friends aren't your friends. We don't treat people like that. I think also in their minds, they thought that this was just an argument and then you were going to just get over it and we would work things out eventually because of how I am. Like, so everybody is shocked at just the way you've acted, how abusive that you were to everyone, including me. Like, what in the hell? Like, all this isn't normal. You didn't, and now you've not just hurt me, you've hurt everyone, and we're all just sitting here in shock, like, what the fuck? So now all these people that helped you get affiliate are just walking away. You single-handedly hurt your own self altogether. Like, I don't understand you. Because, I loved you. I'm not saying that I don't still love you. But your behavior, I don't know. Like, all the love in the world cannot change what you've done. Like, they would have to be, like, some massive, like, change in your behavior. And I'm sorry. I hope to God that you realize and that you see what your friends did. Like, you are nice to people you should not be nice to, that don't give two shits about you. And they're sitting here laughing and getting a fucking kick. They're getting off on fucking manipulating you and abusing your partners. So you know. This also goes with for somebody that I dated. It's been months back. We didn't date for very long. They did a similar thing, except for they actually cheated, which now I'm questioning because the behaviors and the things that are being said. I'm wondering if you weren't cheating too, because you were doing some behaviors that are very similar to cheating. If you are talking to other females or other people and you're giving them your emotion and your attention rather than your partner, that's cheating, period. Any adult man knows that. Anybody that loves somebody, they know that. And you just don't do that. And friends don't do things to ruin your relationship. They just don't. They might not like who you're dating, but they won't go out of their way to hurt you. So, let's be clear here. The girl that you dated before me months ago, they've done this same shit too. And everyone before that, they've done this shit too. So now you're going to have to sit here And I hope to God you hear this and think about it. And either change or keep on being the miserable person that you are and allowing these people in your space. And this goes for the person that I dated fucking months. I'm just going to call him out. Dude, you allowed your friends to fucking interfere with our relationship. You cheated on me with them and abused. And let me make this very clear. It's not normal to flirt with friends. It's not normal to do anything sexual with a friend. That's not a friend. If you are having phone sex, text sex, video sex, any of that, where you're sending each other naked pictures, that's not your friend. That's not a friend. Whether you're in a relationship or not, that is not a friend. Friends don't do sexual stuff with each other. That is someone you are having an intimate relationship with. That isn't a friend. That's not a friend. Anybody with any brain knows that. That's you fucking around and thinking it's okay. And Doom, you very blatantly cheated on me. I know you also did this to several other people. And we were all, here I thought we were in a monogamous relationship. You agreed to a monogamous relationship. You knew I wasn't poly. And you cheated on me with several different girls and guys. You have blatantly used Twitter and Twitch and other social media platforms to fucking interact with other people and have these sexual relationships, and very clearly have made these people think that it was just you and them in a relationship, and you were cheating with everyone. And only a tiny amount knew that you weren't in a monogamous relationship and that you were doing things with other people. Yeah, you are a horrible person. You are a fucking piece of shit. You use this, you're a predator is what you are. You're a predator. You prey on people who have depression and mental illness or some sort of fucking trauma. And you use these social media platforms to see it, target it, and abuse them in some form or way. And you think that shit's okay. The worst part is the girl that you cheated on me with has been charged for allowing sexual abuse to her children, had her children taken away from her. And I'm going to tell you something. The shit that I sent you came from the Library of Congress. That was a news clipping. When she was released from jail, she was able to have her records closed. That's why you can't pull it up on there. She is still married to that man. He is in fucking jail. I sent you the jail roster. He's still in jail for it. It is the second time that he was charged with it. She knew he was a child molester before she married him. He even testified in court. So did she. She sat there and supported him through all of it. She will never get custody of her children back. Her family have called her out publicly on her stream, on TikTok, on fucking YouTube. People that are from the same city she is called out. She blatantly admitted it on fucking YouTube in the chat of a live stream that it was her. And I'm sorry if my kids told me my partner sexually abused them, they would never be able to find that body. You are a father and have a child, and you are setting yourself up to lose that custody. Because when your ex finds out that you're doing inappropriate things, even if it's online with that girl, or having any association with them, you're going to lose your custody. And honestly, while I don't want to be mean, and I tried to tell you, and I tried to warn you, you allow this person to stay within your space and manipulate and just control you. sweetie, you're going to deserve it. Anybody that lets somebody like that in their community around other people who have children, yeah, you get what you get. And just so you know, I know that a lot of the shit that you told me about your situation was bullshit. Like, you are a fucking liar. You're a manipulative liar that uses like your fucking mental health and the platforms that you like are on to manipulate and abuse other people and to get what you want. And you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You don't sit there and go on about how depressed and upset you are. Fuck off. You're depressed and upset because the way you treat people. Okay? That goes for every fucking one of you. I'm so tired of hearing you guys go, I just want somebody to be good to me. Oh, you do. You do. But you can't stop talking to random girls when you're in a relationship. You want to lie about being in relationships. You want to use and manipulate women, but you want somebody to be good to you. You want to be in a loving relationship. No, you don't. You don't want love. You don't want fucking shit. You shit all over people, and then you don't understand why your life is ass. Really? Like, has a light bulb not come on in your head? As long as you are abusing people or allowing the people around you to abuse the people you love, that's how things will be. They'll always be that way. Always. It's never going to get any better because you aren't doing better. And being young is not an excuse. When somebody expresses to you that you love, that there's something wrong and what's going on bothers them, you listen to them. You talk about it. You try to understand why they're fucking upset with you. You don't flip out and fucking go block them. That makes the dumbest sense ever. Ever. You literally single-handedly allowed your friends and yourself to completely ruin a perfectly good relationship that you could have been like extremely happy in because you just don't want to deal with reality. You don't want to do better. You don't want to be better. And that's on fucking you. And I'm sorry, I just ain't gonna put up with any boo-boo at all ever. Again, period, because I don't deserve it. At all. Because you all, a bunch of dumbasses, were treated really well. You were well loved. Your actions, and you're wondering why I'm off with you or I'm not, I'm being different. I'm doing what you're doing. I'm like a mirror. I give you what you're given. So, however you're treating me, that's how I'm going to treat you. So, if you're doing something bad to me and you're going to be distant with me, I'm going to be distant with you. I'm not going to be so loving. That's how that works. Like, you can't lay blame on me when I'm not the one doing something. And then the topper is, I will actually express to you that there's something off and I think something's off and I want to find out what it is and us work on it. And if you do this boo-boo where you try to tell me, well, you wanted all my attention and I didn't get to hang out with your friends because this is what you said to me about your ex. I'm going to tell you right now, That's not true, and you know it isn't, because I asked you several times, are you not going to go hang out with your friends? Do you want to spend time with your friends? I was like, I don't want you not to be able to go out and hang out with your friends or whatever, or they can join us and all of us hang out together, and you didn't want to do it. That was on you. That was not me doing that. I didn't keep you from your friends. Just because I might not be so cool with them because of I just knew that's what was going on with all those weird questions. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be nice to them. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to allow them to be around. That was you doing that, not me. And if there's something going on that makes both of us uncomfortable with them being around, why are you hanging out with them? Why are you dealing with them? Those aren't friends. If they're not calling you every day and making sure you're okay and generally asking you about you and like making sure you're good, that's not a friend. My friends talk to me every day. We check on each other, tell each other we love each other, that we miss each other. We give each other short little things about what we did today. And then there might be a couple of days where we don't talk to each other because busy or whatever, but then we'll check in on each other. If we've not heard from each other, we check in on each other. Those are friends. If that's not what's going on in the interactions that you're having, those aren't friends. If it's constantly just weird, fucked up shit all the time, like the conversations, the interactions, or it's centered around them, they're not your friend. They're not your friend. And you're being very stupid, and you're going to have all this shit fall apart, and then you're going to sit here and then think back to our relationship and then realize how fucking stupid you were. How these people destroyed everything just to do it. These aren't people that love you. These are people that just are jealous of everything that you have when you have it. They want to keep you unhappy. They don't want you to do better than them because they can't do better for whatever reason. Mindset, whatever. Oh, and let's not forget their imaginary fucking girlfriends. That shit's fucking weird. That shit's super goddamn weird. I don't even know how to express how weird that is. I don't know what the fuck. How do you think that this humongous, big time fucking streamer is your girlfriend? Your friends are weird. Unless somebody's made an alt account and they're pretending to be that person, which I could see, and that would be kind of fucked up, and they're just taking advantage of them, that would be fucked up. But getting to know your friends and knowing them, and I'm also going to say this, I actually know that streamer is in a relationship, and that it's not your friend. And they've been with that person for fucking years. And they are not poly. So it's completely hella weird that your friend is even saying that. I'm just going to be honest about that. It's weird. Y'all are weird. I get... And I think a part of the problem is the people that you're hanging out with, they just see everybody as, oh, this is, they're not actually thinking that the person on the other end of what they're doing is a human because they're online. So they don't understand that that's a real person. So when they're harassing you and doing these shit that they think is funny, they're not actually caring because they are like, it's a screen. they're not realizing that's a person that has had probably some personal experiences that this would be whole helly inappropriate. And I don't think they even see you as an actual person. They just think it's online and it's funny. Because they're not mentally mature enough to understand that even if it's online, it's inappropriate. I don't think they understand that even though an app is anonymous, you can see who it is. Like, there are ways to find out who it is. I can't. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why is this a thing? Why? And I'm sorry if there was a whole thing that happened where it was very blatantly obvious that it was my friends and somebody I know doing something, I would start cutting people off to see if it stopped. Or I would just say something to everybody and then see if it stopped. And then I would be really questioning who the hell I have hanging out with me. I wouldn't sit there and allow my friends to do things to my partner. Like, if my partner came to me and said, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this and this interactions and the things that are going on. And I would be like, oh, okay, well, we'll take care of that. And I would take care of it right then. I wouldn't even allow it to go as far as it did. Like, honestly, I don't know. Look, I have dated males and females, and I'm just going to say that females have never treated me like that. Like, I get that we as females are more emotional and we think about each other's feelings a little bit more, but goddamn, like, y'all really don't want to date females, I feel like. Because you're allowing all this crazy shit. And I want to explain something to you. And this is something, I had a conversation with a female friend of mine. And we were going on about this because she dealt with something kind of similar. And it was a little different, but kind of similar before she met who she's with right now, who she's in a relationship with. And it's pretty kind of odd. So something a lot of guys don't realize, and it does cause a lot of problems in relationships, is that females will be horrible to other females when they're coming into their territory. And while you as a guy might feel like, oh, that's just my friend, and you may actually not have any kind of feelings towards that female, they in their mind are so insecure with themselves that they become territorial. And while they've been extremely nice to you and never caused a problem toward you or for you, that doesn't mean when another female comes into the group or the mix that they're not going to do shit to that female because they're territorial. And that isn't a normal response for other females coming into a space. And that's something I want to clearly address. So there are two types of girls. There are girls that are all about other girls, and they get so excited when they see another female in a group, especially like when it comes to gaming. We get fucking excited because we've got another girl to hang out with. Okay? And we'll go out of our way and we'll introduce ourselves, and then always invite them to join us when we see them on. We'll interact with them, cheer each other on. And if you'll sit and watch, it will be very questionable, because it's like we're almost flirting with each other the way we go on with each other. That's normal for female friend groups. And we're not flirting. We're just being very supportive and emotionally intelligent with each other. Because we understand in spaces, especially streaming spaces and gaming spaces, that it is very hard to make other female friends because of the other type of girls. And we're not coming in that space the majority of times to like flirt with guys. We're just coming in the space to hang out and play a game, and we're not even seeing it in the manner that maybe you guys see it. We just want to play a video game and goof the fuck off and be ourselves. So when we have other females that we can be like that with, it will seem like we're being flirty or whatever. And we're not. We're just really into each other as people and friends, and we want to support each other, and we get so excited for each other. And that's just how we are. But then you have the other girls. The girls, and I know you've heard this term, the pick-me girls. Pick-me girls will act completely cool and okay in front of the guys when other females are around, but then when the back's turned, that is not the case. And very clearly, when I started dating my now ex, that was an issue, which was really fucked up because one of them I've known for quite a while, been very supportive of them for quite a while. And then they just flipped and turned their back on me and went at me for no reason. And right off the bat, tried to interfere with our relationship. And then I very quickly realized that every female within that space, my ex's space, are pick-me girls. And they are being very territorial and going out of their way to cause a problem. That shouldn't be going on. If you're in a relationship with someone and this is going, please listen to your girlfriend. Because she's not just making this up. She's not being jealous at all. Okay? And I want you guys to understand. That is not jealousy. That is her dealing with a level of aggression that you don't understand. Because that same girl that was nice to you and gave you no reason to think bad about them, oh, they're not going to do that to you because you have a penis. And they can very easily manipulate and contort it and sound sweet and innocent and everything. And for some reason, your idiot ass believes it. If you, and this is another thing, if you are a community leader in your space and you have females coming to you complaining about a certain member and you're like, well, they've never done anything to me, and you need to address that and probably remove that girl ASAP. Because there very clearly is something wrong. It's not those girls ganging up on her. She is deliberately pushing other females out because she is very insecure with herself. She is not the center of attention anymore. She feels like the other girls are a threat. And that's a problem. You are very blatantly creating an entire fucking dramatic bunch of drama, and you don't even realize you're doing it. I get you're like, well, they've not done anything to me, but they're doing other things to your community members, and you very clearly may not even know it because those girls don't want to be a burden, and they don't want to cause a problem. They just want to come to you and address the issue, so to see if you are going to do anything about it. And let me express, when you don't do anything about it, you're going to start losing your community. And I just want to be clear on that for those of you that are male and streamers. If a girl is coming to you and there is an issue, you need to listen to it. Whether it be about a male member or female member. And I'm going to be clear on this. If you're keeping males around and you have female members telling you that they are sexually harassing you, harassing them, and doing things to them, and you continue to keep that person in your space, just know... excuse me. Just know we're also telling the other girls, and you will soon not have any females in that space, and your community is going to be deemed unsafe. And it don't matter if you say it's a safe space or not. It's going to be deemed unsafe. And we all tell each other this shit. Just so you know. We kind of, whether we get along or not, we let each other know about this shit. Because even if we don't like each other, we don't want each other dealing with that kind of thing. Ever. So to be clear, we also do this about females who are pick-me's. We tell each other about it, whether we get along with each other or not. Because us regular girls will always cheer for each other. Or girls. Let's just call it girls. So girls, even if we don't get along with each other, we are still good to each other. We act like adults. We don't sit and go at each other. It's just not what we do. We will still support each other, and even if we don't like each other, and here's a great example. There's the bigger streamer on Kick, and I absolutely can't stand her just because I know who she was before she was on Kick, and some things that she did, and I just don't like her. And then I did see somebody starting to bash her online about her past. That was, being a sex worker. I'm just going to say it here. Who fucking cares? There's nothing wrong with that. And, I tore into the person for doing that. I very much do not like her, but I'm also not going to sit there and allow somebody to rip into her and go along with it. I am somebody who stands my ground about my views, and what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. There isn't really an in-between like that. I mean, in some areas there's a gray area, but you need to understand the situation. And while I don't like her, I wasn't going to sit there and allow somebody to bash her just because she's a sex worker. That's just not. I support other sex workers. It doesn't matter if streamers and content creators that we have that. If that's what we want to do and we are comfortable in our own skin and we very much make that kind of content, that's not anybody in business but our own. And I'm not going to bash somebody for how they get their bag unless they're doing something hurtful. So I'm just going to be very clear on that. Unless you're hurting someone, I got no issues with you making money. It's not my business. That's you and what you want to do. It has nothing to do with me. You're not paying my bills. I don't give a shit. So that's that. And I don't understand in the streaming community why anybody else is giving a shit what other people are doing and how they're making their money. How about you just work on your shit and make your own money and shut the fuck up? Not everybody's going to do things like you want. Not everybody's okay with that. But now, one thing I'm not going to be okay with is for you to shove a religion down other people's throats and get high in money and think you're better than everybody else. And that goes with sex workers too. You're not going to sit here and tell me and perpetuate a stereotype, a misogynistic stereotype that females have it easier and that females that make SW or OF accounts are perpetuating an issue and you can't get anywhere in streaming. And this goes for males and females. I actually saw a female doing it. And honestly, I've never wanted to throat punch a bitch so bad in my life. You are a pick-me, if I've ever seen a pick-me, and you very clearly got mass unfollowed by people. I want to point that out. And it clearly wasn't okay. And I know I've went on this pure, unholy fucking tangent, but I've not made podcasts in a while. And all this kind of works into each other. Because even the friend group of the ex that they did that. Slut shaming is fucking disgusting. I don't know what century are you in? This ain't the 1950s. And if you're going to go on like that and be like that, this is very clearly why you're unhappy, why you decided to interfere with our relationship. You really need to look inwardly. I'm going to say also, I know this is all subject, I'm all over the place. I have ADHD, if you hadn't noticed. But, look, leave people alone. If they're in a relationship, let them be. It's not your business. If you're really that person's friend, why would you interfere with the relationship? And let me also ask you this. If you are one of my ex's friends and you know that you had a hand in things, how about you just confess to him and apologize to him and, like, not be friends with him? Because he very clearly isn't your friend and you don't give a shit about him. And you could very clearly apologize to me for what you did. You are a horrible human. You set and more than likely destroyed him. You destroyed his relationship. You broke his heart. You egged him on to abuse his girlfriend. And, you know, me. You egged him on to abuse me. Mistreat me. And, you, and this is, I don't give a shit if you are a female friend of his or a male friend of his, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And, you need to go maybe get therapy. You need to get help because this isn't normal. And if you're bashing sex workers and you're perpetuating like a misogynistic ideology, I think you need to do some self-reflection in your mindset. And like, all this stuff is just crazy. Like, crazy. I just can't. I mean, I think this is all just nuts. I'm going to try to get on a schedule with streaming and get all back into the things, and I'm going to add on some stuff. And I'm trying to decide, I may use Twitter as like a soundboard for addressing certain types of interactions and issues. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't see, you're not that big of a streamer. Look, I was a content creator before any of y'all ever thought of fucking streaming or became streamers. I was an extremely well-known mom blogger. I have done this for a very long time. I have an experience in PR. I've worked with brands. I've been a social media manager. While I was a mom blogger, I've managed very big brands, fucking social media platforms. You know, I am one of those people that's really bad about overworking myself and having 2 or 3 jobs at a time. And I burnt myself out and I stepped down and then decided that I was redoing everything. And I didn't want to be that kind of content creator anymore because I burnt out. I don't want my life to solely be centered around me being a mom because that's not all I am or who I am. I've worked in entertainment and PR the majority of my life. I was a professional dancer before I was a content creator and a model. I worked in the adult industry before I had kids. I have met some really big people. And, you know, I don't brag about it and go on about it. And every once in a while I'll talk about it, but very seldom. It's not something I go on about. You will hear some conversations if you get the lucky chance to hang out with me and my best friend about things. You're going to realize that people that actually know people don't go on about the shit all the time. And that's just how it is. Generally, you don't hear anything from me unless somebody's done something. I put somebody in their place. And for a very long time, I was very quiet on Twitter and some of my social media platforms. You know, people go through things and deal with things, and we all deal with things in a different way. I don't know. I will be coming back to TikTok lives. I'm about to do some stuff. I've got stuff in works and stuff I didn't even talk to who I was seeing about because I wanted to surprise him when I had it all set and done. And I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not going to bitch. Like, if somebody loves me, then they most definitely wouldn't treat me in the way that they have or did. And honestly, if he loved me, and, like, he realizes he did something wrong, then he'll do what's right. And that goes with all of y'all that did the fucked up shit. All of y'all. And Doom, I hope you get what you get. Because there ain't no amount of apologizing that'll ever change any of that. And you did, the most fucked up part is you didn't just hurt me, you hurt a lot of people. And it's just really fucked up. So have fun rolling in that pile of shit. Yeah. That feels good to get that out. I love you guys. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. But, people can do better. I hope that me expressing this and going on, if nothing else, you hear this and you change maybe behaviors and how you treat people. It may come across as harsh and mean, but I hope it sinks in and you understand that sometimes you need somebody to blatantly say it because you don't understand it. And a lot of people, they won't even say anything to you and they just exit. And I'm going to say to my ex who just left me, very clearly your exes did things and they went about things in a very negative way. But clearly this has been going on for a while that your friends act like this. And instead of those exes behaving in an adult manner, they did things to you out of spite because they were being mentally abused and you didn't do anything about it. And while I don't agree with their actions, honestly, I don't blame them. And I'm just like, wow. And I just don't understand. And so it's very clear. It's not normal to go and ignore your partner when you fucked up and not spend time with them. And talking on the phone isn't spending time with someone. Text messaging isn't spending time with someone. Just so we're clear on that. You need to actually go out of your way, and especially in a long distance relationship, to make sure that you're spending quality time with them. And watching movies online. If you want suggestions on online dates, I have a ton, and I have some really cool free shit that you can do online together. So you are always welcome to reach out on me on all my social platforms, even if it's on the anonymous thing, and I will hook you up with some cool ass shit that you can do as partners. And yes, you can be intimate long distance. And if you have questions that you can even ask questions on here and leave me little voice messages, and I will check them and we do a whole podcast and answer. But I can give you tips on that. I have had very successful long distance relationships. I the one before I got married, it was a little complicated, and I ended things. It wasn't, we were friends for a while and then it didn't talk. And that's pretty much how most of my relations are. I've ended them and we're kosher with each other. I don't have arguments and go on like this. While what happened with my ex-husband, we dated for fucking 2 years before we actually moved in with each other, and it was long distance and it was great, but there were some things that were going on which I don't very much publicly talk about because I should have known beforehand. Those were huge red flags, and he was just really good at playing the part. Yeah. And that all that ended up the way it is. I'm not perfect, but the things he did was by far worse than I would ever imagine. And anybody that's ever dated me, they'll go out of their way and tell you that I don't mistreat them. I think maybe I've got one guy that I dated when I was younger, and he said I mistreated him, but he dude was an asshole. That's questionable, and I was extremely young. So, you make mistakes when you're younger, when you're dating. So that is what that is. But yeah. Yeah. I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I know some of it didn't have anything to do with the relationship shit, but it did in a way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it did. ADHD. And a little bit of a rant. I just got everything in my head out. But, yeah. I will see you guys later. Wish you all well. If this is my ex's friends who are listening to this, like, just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Like, if you're actually his friend and you care anything about him, do the right thing. That kind of shit's not funny. Just so you know, there's nothing funny about it. It isn't cute. It isn't funny. And I'm going to be really clear because I've already seen you doing it to somebody within your group that has a girlfriend. And now I see you doing it to them. Like, stop. Because once everybody figures out who it is that's doing it, you're not going to have any friends. Nobody's going to want to hang out with you anymore. And I'm not telling you this to be mean. I'm telling you this so that you understand what you're doing is basically ruining your friendships, and nobody's going to ever want to be your friend after this. You know, right now they might not see it that way and stuff, but once they realize that you are doing this and you're doing this to everybody, yeah, they're going to not want to be your friend anymore. You're not going to have nobody. Like, it's just not cool. And I'm going to be clear with it. If your friend's partner is okay with you going on like that, they don't actually love your friend. They're not in love with them. They are most blatantly off doing other things with other people, and they just don't know it yet. And I want to be clear of that. No person that's in a relationship is going to be okay with you going on like that. Like, because that's not normal. It's not socially acceptable. It's not okay. And if that person's partner is okay with you going on like that once they find out, then they don't love that person. They are not have any interest in actually staying with that person. Yeah, that's a big, huge red flag. And you need to realize that. And they should too. Because there's something really off with the relationship, and they more than likely are cheating. So, yeah. But okay. I will see you guys later. Bye.